Hello, I'm Joan Landis, and I think we've all heard about the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, okay? And that has been a really important instructional paradigm for thousands of years. Every religion has its own version of the Golden Rule, and it really is very helpful to kind of, create less friction between individuals, families, communities, and nations. However, there's much more than the Golden Rule out there, and I think it's really important to kind of know some of the other different ways that we can relate to each other and what the advantages and disadvantages are of each. So let's start at the bottom. So the leaden rule says, do unto others before they do it unto you. Okay, so this is criminal, it's criminal thinking, and it basically is very aggressive, doesn't give anyone the benefit of a doubt. It actually is very fear-based to hurt them before they can hurt you. And so the problem with this, the leaden rule, is that it creates war. All right, so the next one is the iron rule. The iron rule says, do unto others what they have done unto you. Okay, so it's kind of tit for tat. It's kind of the Old Testament Mosaic law where, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, right? So the shortcoming of that is that it perpetuates conflict. If there's conflict, you have just perpetuated it with the iron rule. Now the next step up, a big step up from that, is the Golden Rule, and we've discussed that, how that means to do unto others what you would have them do unto you, right? And this is a big improvement. However, there are still some shortcomings to this. And in our understanding of love languages, it's going to fit right into this here, because if we really like jelly donuts, we will tend to give other people jelly donuts if we're abiding by the Golden Rule. Oh, I want to express my love to you. I love jelly donuts. So here, have a jelly donut, right? So that's fine unless the person is a diabetic, right? Maybe your love map of that person isn't very good. They're diabetic. They're like, I can't even eat this jelly donut. You didn't even care enough to really know much about me to even know that. And so I'm not feeling super close to you. I mean, I'm not going to fault you, but just saying, didn't do what you're hoping. And so that's the problem with the Golden Rule, is we're basically projecting on others what we think, what we like, and assuming they will like it, instead of finding out what they really like. So that leads us to the Platinum Rule. The Platinum Rule says, do unto others what they would have you do unto them. Okay, so in other words, you know them better. You have a love map for them. You know that they really hate jelly donuts, but they really, really like Twinkies. Okay, so even though you hate and despise Twinkies, what do you give to them? You give them Twinkies, right? Now, many of us don't want to do that. We only want to give what we want to give. And that's a shortcoming in our characters, because sometimes we may not want to give something, but honestly, that's what they need. If a baby's crying and the mom says, well, I'll give him a bottle, I'll give him a pacifier, I'll rock him, but man, I'm not changing that diaper. Well, you know what? That baby actually wants you to change their diaper, even though you don't want to. That's the Platinum Rule, says, you know what? I'm going to change that diaper, not because I want to, but because they would like me to. So that's the Platinum Rule. The next one is called the Ruby Rule. The Ruby Rule says, do unto others what others need done for them, even if you don't get appreciated for it. And this is especially obvious with teenagers, right? Teenagers need boundaries, they need some structure, they need accountability, they need support, but they need some of those. They need curfews, they need a lot of guidance and quite a bit of monitoring. And so even though they don't want it, they need it. And even though they may push back and maybe resent you, and they certainly don't appreciate you, but you still are willing to give them what they need, even though you aren't getting any positive acknowledgement for it. That's the ruby rule. That's really going that next level, because you make a personal sacrifice to do really what's right for them. Okay? So, of course, this implies that you have a very, very good love map for these people. You don't just assume, but you, through lots of conversations and understanding and knowing them for a long time, you realize what they need, maybe even before they realize it. So specifically, something like a drug abuser or someone with an eating disorder, they don't want an intervention. They don't want to be accountable. That's just really, really scary. And I'm not saying to have an intervention and something blow up in their face, but you may need to hold strong boundaries with them and say, I know you're not going to like this, but you need this. And when they push back and they don't appreciate it, you have just instigated the ruby rule. Okay, the last one is called the diamond rule. The diamond rule is where we know that person so well. Our love map is so complete that we can predict their needs even before they can. And so we prepare things ahead of time so that those things will be provided, so that when they realize they have those needs, that guess what? It's there. And I really think that in a lot of ways God does this with us. That He provides so much for us, and we don't even realize it. We're not even thankful. We don't even, we don't even ask Him. And gosh, there's air, there's water, there's people, there's, the things that we actually are in need of, most of the time, they're in some fashion provided for us. So the story I have with this one is my darling husband, and, he knows that I'm kind of a multitasker and sometimes don't keep super duper organized, and he is really quite organized. And so he used the diamond rule with me without really even knowing it. So one time I was at work and I locked myself out of my car. And the keys were sitting in there, and I'm like, oh no, my husband's work was way far away and had kids in school far away. I wasn't around any neighbors or anything, and so I called him up and I said, oh honey, you know what? I'm gonna need you to come down and use your key and unlock me unlock the door, because I accidentally locked my keys in my car, and I really hadn't done that more than maybe one other time in our married life. It's not like it's like a habit or anything, but it was so interesting because he said to me, he goes, hey, you know what? I knew this day would come. And so I hid a key behind the license plate, behind the screw, and all you have to do is get the screwdriver out of our little, car kit, and, or actually, no. How did I do that? I can't remember. But I was able to unscrew that off, and there was a key right there that he had put behind that license plate for me. I think I used a coin, and there was that key. And I just thought, what a thoughtful thing. He didn't even tell me about it. He didn't even brag to me and go, oh, honey, I know you're so spacey, so I put that key there because I know the day's going to come when you're just going to totally fail. He didn't do that. He had a lot of great grace, and he just took care of business. He didn't put me in the doghouse on the phone. He just said, nope, there it is. Have a great day. What a loving thing. And so I know that a lot of businesses that are in the service industry, they're trying to get this concept of this diamond, the diamond rule, in trying to anticipate customers' needs before the customers even do it, and to provide it in a seamless way so that there's not much fanfare, not much stress, but it is just there. So I want you to kind of think about some of the ways that you relate to the people in your life, maybe to your beloved, and say, what level am I on? Am I on the leaden rule or the iron rule? I hope not. I hope you're not just doing to them what they do to you that's not good. I hope it's more the golden, platinum, possibly the ruby, or even the diamond rule at times. It really is a beautiful way to live. It's just so much more fun. Life is so much more fun when we can think of things that other people need and provide those. And then especially if those people can express a little bit of appreciation. That's always more fun. So anyway, have fun with this. We'll see you on the forums. Go ahead and write about your successes and failures, and we'll give you some support. It's just fun to hear from you. So see you soon. Thanks. Bye.